Welcome to Written by Hand, where we focus on comics and teaching. Hey everybody, it's Eric Hand, and today I want to talk a little bit about on-demand assessments. On-demand assessments are just another name for a pre-assessment. So all I did after I did that write-around is I asked my kids to write me a story. I did not give them any instruction. I wanted to see what they could do without any instruction from me. Here is what I had on the screen on my interactive panel. They actually saw this the day before I gave the on-demand assessment. I just simply said, today you will write a true story and make sure it has a beginning, middle, and an end. And there'll probably be a problem or struggle in your story, and your character, you, will do and say things. I gave my writers half an hour to do this. Usually in the things that are suggested for on-demand assessments, it says use the whole writing period, do 45 minutes. I decided not to give my students 45 minutes. I know that the fourth graders that I'm receiving have not been in a writing workshop before. And I expected, based on things I'd seen anecdotally in the first couple of days of school, that 45 minutes was not going to hold their focus and attention, and it was going to lead to frustration with them and with me. After students finished the pre-assessment, that on-demand writing, I collected the pieces and I sorted them into 4 piles. Let me be very clear. I did not grade this writing. I did not use a rubric or a checklist to help me notice specific things. I just read each piece and grouped them by similarity. Here's what I noticed. Most of my students, the biggest pile, were able to write across several pages. Some were able to write on 3 pages, some on 5, and that they were telling. They were telling the story and not showing the story. What I mean by that is the difference between saying, I asked my mom if I could go to the store, which is telling, versus writing, I said to my mom, hey mom, could I go to the store? I looked at her with my big brown puppy dog eyes. Do you see how I use exact dialogue and specific details? So that's great. That's the teaching that most of my class needs, and that's what I expected. I have a smaller pile of writers who were only able currently to write about a page and not even fill up 1 page of writing. So I know that there's some stamina things I'm gonna work on. We're gonna have some goals around volume, and I'm gonna help them with planning their story across multiple pages. In this pile here, I have a very small group of students that it's difficult to read what they have written because their spelling is not close enough to conventional spelling for me to read it. So this gave me information that will impact my phonics instruction, my reading instruction, and my writing instruction. They'll receive all the same instruction as the other groups, but I know they're going to need some additional support. I then had my friend over here who's an outlier, just one. And this writer did not write a story. Instead, this writer wrote an informational piece teaching me all about dogs. So I'm gonna have to clarify genre at the very start of our first writing cycle. I hope that this gave you some clarification, maybe some ideas on what a pre-assessment in writing or an on-demand assessment might look like at the very beginning of the unit. All this information that I received is really gonna inform my instruction. I know who I need to see earlier in the writing process. I know who's gonna need some additional support in planning, and I know who's gonna need some additional support in phonics and sounding out words to think about their spelling. Thanks for tuning in, and next video will actually start the writing process.